Okay. It is 5:02 Thursday, May 19th, 2016. I'd like to make a motion we reconvene this meeting from 5/16/2016.
I'll second that.
All in favor? 2-0. Again, roll calls: Leonard Bud Belcher, Renee O'Donnell, Skip Smith. Stanley Skip Smith is not here. Cindy Grant, town manager. There's nothing, no warrants, no minutes. We're meeting with the budget committee, but before we meet, we would, Brent had offered to give his, Brent Burgess has offered to give his resignation as town foreman, road foreman. And thank you very much, Brent, for letting me ponder and think about it. Number one, I mean, we'll accept your resignation. I can't talk you out of it. I'm assuming you've already made that decision. But I will say thank you very much for your service to this town.
You're welcome.
Yes.
We know ifs and buts about it. I've seen you out there many times, and I've had nothing but good things to say about you, and I've heard nothing but good things people have said about you. I do know in the budget, when these guys were meeting, it was brought up, and, you know, it was at the point where, you know, do we continue paying, I don't remember.
For a position, well, I think the budget amount, correct me if I'm wrong, somebody was 22, 25?
I'm almost thinking 18.
Well, it was 18, and then there was some other stuff.
Well, that didn't do the mileage and
Right.
supplies and.
Right.
Right. Good.
I just, we talked about it, it was proposed to zero it out, as you know, and, we just went with that. I know that's a risk on our part, I get it. I just don't know what else to say about that, but I can think the general consensus was that it was, all new roads. I mean, you would basically not be here in the wintertime anyway. That's going to continue, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I didn't do much in the winter anyway, except run around and chase a plow truck. I
Right.
didn't need to do that, as well as doing that, so the only time I'd be working would be during the summer.
Right, right. And I will say, we did talk a little bit about maybe doing something just per diem. Hey, we've got this going on, calling you up. But it's hard to budget that. It's hard to budget it and plug it in. So hence we kind of just said, well, let's just call it for now, and we could always revisit it later. Like, I will reiterate everything Buddy said. You did a great job. Never had any problems, you know, all that stuff. So
Thank you.
really.
I do know, listening to the budget, because I came to all the budget committees as a taxpayer, and knowing,
A better memory than I have.
yeah, sure, sometimes. But, you know, the consensus was, you're gonna have all tarred roads, we're not gonna be able to, you know, not use your services, I guess, per se. It was brought up, if there's an emergency, water's, you know, running over a road, it's gonna wash it out, what's gonna happen? Well, it falls to the fire department because it's a public safety thing, am I right, Linda?
Talk to Glenn about that.
Okay.
But that was the consensus of it. As selectmen, we are the road commissioners. I do a lot of driving. She's always on the North Road. You know, if there's anything goes wrong, it's something that's pointed out. And it's gonna be, it was talked about whether or not to put you at part-time, just to keep you going 5 or 10. I mean, we got Gary here cleaning building for, what, 11 hours a week?
Yeah.
You know, so, but it was, the final consensus was to stop it and move on and not have you here. Again, everybody spoke highly of you, everything that I've seen you do, and, you know, you'd go out of your way, et cetera, et cetera. Again, thank you very much for your services to this town, and, you know, I
Do you have anything?
I have a lot of stuff.
I'm sure you do.
Yeah, it just seems like you people just didn't wanna listen to a lot of stuff I said in the past, and it's been building and building and building, and I just can't do it no more.
Okay, that's,
You know, it's hard being out there working alone when you've got no help,
right.
so to speak.
I've came up on you many times when you were alone.
Mhm.
Yeah, but it's also hard to have a public works department per se. I see Dixmont plowing their own roads and they've got their own trucks.
Yeah, Carmel does too.
Do you believe that's the direction we should go?
Well, it's like I had talked to Cindy in the past about it, and at the point in time, I don't think the town could really afford to get that big. I mean, maybe start a little bit at a time.
No, no.
I mean, my big thing is you got water running down over a hill somewhere. You get out with a spade, you notch a hole in the bank, and you get it out and get it off the road. You don't wait till the whole shoulder's washed out, and then you gotta call a contractor to come in and take care of it.
Right,
There's a lot of that little stuff out there that people just don't see.
right,
Right.
I mean, you might see me if you drive up, but if you didn't drive up, you wouldn't know I just did that.
right, right. And that's funny you say that because I do the same thing at the end of the Flynn Road.
Yeah,
When that water's running out, first thing I do is I jump out, I've got one of them fold-up shovels, and I knock out Anthony's bank so that water will go back out on his lawn where it belongs.
Right.
yeah.
Oh, I know, Brent,
You know, there's a lot of little stuff out there, and I just, you'll find out in the future, I guess.
Yeah, you know, I just wanna say, it wasn't something we just threw to the wind, you know, 'cause
Right.
there was a discussion. I mean, the discussion went, well, we have all brand-new roads, you know, so,
Because that's what the people see, what they're driving on.
right,
They
right,
don't see the maintenance around.
right.
You know, the other towns could get rid of their people if they didn't have to do maintenance after the road was hot topped.
Right.
Right. Again, it's a chance that, you know, that we're gonna take, you know, that we have to take. You know, we have to act as road commissioners. Hopefully Brent's driving down the Chapman Road, sees something and calls me on the phone, says, hey buddy, you got a washout at the end of the
Right.
Flynn Road or something, you know? You do rely on other people in town to make that phone call. Hopefully it's not too late,
Yeah.
so. Again, thank you, Brent. You were total, you know, you were very professional, exactly what we needed for this town,
Okay.
okay?
All right. I guess I'm out of here.
Thank you,
Okay, thank you very much.
thank you very much, Brent.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Come here.
I'd kiss and hug you, but,
See you later.
See you, Brent.
all right, on with the budget.
Okay.
Okay, the only thing they didn't have, settled was the salt shed. We have estimates. There were these two, you probably don't have your copies.
No,
Wellman's put in the estimate you asked
Right,
for excavating away from the building, and then you had the main concrete.
okay. So, let me just get a calculator here for a minute.
Because you were undetermined as to what part of that
Right.
main concrete one you were gonna do.
Right, what part of this one we were gonna do?
Did anybody go look at the drain that Helen told you about?
I called Nickerson O'Day today and to get the plans. But the drain's buried.
So, if we took this and the applied waterproofing right there on the outside, and the epoxy injection for the biggest crack on the inside, I mean, what kind of, do you think that's enough, or? This is for all the smaller cracks.
which shouldn't get bigger once you make this, once you do this.
Right, right, let's see here, he said. Inside wall, recommend epoxy injection, the entire length of the horizontal crack that runs the majority of the 130-foot long walls on both sides of the building. Along with this, carbon fiber straps should be placed horizontal every 4 feet. Estimate is based on 200 linear feet of crack. So these are carbon fiber straps?
Yeah,
I have not seen those in use. I mean, that's the epoxy injection to keep water from coming in through.
Right.
So that will resist the water. That's the waterproofing on the outside of the building. I don't know about this reflective coating on the metal part of the building. It's, you know, it is, if you can put your foot right through it right now, I don't know,
right.
you know.
Well, and that's the other thing, is if the metal is rotting away, because I have not had a chance to go there between Monday and right now.
Right.
Do you want to dump all this money into the sand salt shed?
Not particularly. But everybody who's ever said anything about the salt shed has said, you've got to regrade it because the water dumps right into it.
Right. And then we did redo it, and that's when Wellman found all the paving underneath
Right.
in front of it, so the water doesn't go into it.
So the water does not go into it anymore.
Not in through the doors. No, what happens, Renee, is when it rains, it hits that Quonset hut and runs down.
Right.
And when that runs down, they have a lip on top of,
The Quonset hut.
here's your concrete wall.
Yeah.
They have a lip. Quonset hut comes down, bolted through.
Right.
Okay, this is all rotting out. Meanwhile, you've got cracks.
Yeah. Huh.
Because I don't believe it comes down and turns like this and bolted down through this way.
So the water basically runs down and then runs inside
Yeah.
to the building.
Runs into, well, yeah, because again, looking down at it, this is the cracks in the wall.
Right.
Here's your angle. Here's your Quonset hut coming down to it. And the water runs down, it runs inside these cracks. Looking at it from a top view.
I see.
But if you found that drain, wouldn't some of that drain out, if you can find that drain?
Yeah, draining the water out of the inside of the building.
They've already diverted the water from
Right.
going inside the
Right,
building.
the only problem we're having now, we don't want any water in the building. So if we can stop the water from coming in through the metal and through the concrete, because there's the outside berm, that holds water, which makes it seep through. But when the water comes off the Quonset hut, it lands on top. Am I right, Cindy?
I don't know
Okay.
anything about it.
It lands on top of the concrete, which seeps into the cracks,
And that, of course, that freezes and expands and,
makes it worse.
yeah, every year.
But if you had a drain, that wouldn't, if it were on the concrete, it wouldn't drain out through the drain instead of staying and cracking anymore?
He's
No,
saying the water's
the
coming
water's
down to
staying
the
on the
top of the
walls.
wall.
And seeping into the wall.
Seeping into the wall. It's not going.
Cracks in
it's-
the wall.
There's no concrete slab in that building. I don't believe.
Right, it's
There's-
just- no,
they
it's-
usually don't put any slabs. You
No,
put
it's paved.
paved, hot top.
Right, it's all hot top.
Because the salt will just eat the concrete away.
Right. The water dissipates from the floor. I mean,
The water on the floor has pretty much been eliminated.
right.
Okay.
That was because the salt sand had built up out
Right.
front so bad
Right.
that it was
Sloped
this way
in.
so it would come down off the road and run right down the driveway and into the salt shed.
Right.
But that's fixed now.
Right.
Now it's when it comes off the building, and one of the big issues 2 years ago was when we had all the snow. Snow came down and piled up right there.
Right.
Right,
There was no place for it to go.
Right.
right. And what Scott's saying that he'll do is he'll pull all that dirt, because it, truthfully, it should be, all the debris should be pulled out of there.
Right.
There's trees growing up.
Yeah.
So that should be all pulled out. He wants to put a ditch on the Mudgett Road side,
Right.
the west side, which is on the other side. There's already a ditch on the left side.
Right.
West side of the building, which is this side, I'm assuming. No, it's the other side between the Mudgett Road. because that's where a lot of your water will come in.
Right,
Is from that
right,
Mudgett
comes
Road.
down.
And
and-
put that, grade that away so
Right.
that the water comes off the building and goes that
And
way.
goes away, you need to get it away from the concrete.
Right.
So, how about?
Because we already
this?
had J.M. Brown there once, replaced all the rotted steel on the back wall.
He did,
Yes.
okay, all right.
Yeah, he did that 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
3 years ago.
Oh, okay, all right. So the back walls.
The,
we kind
if the
of-
back wall's fine, in fact, we could have, Jeff go over there or Dean go over there and look at the rest of the structure.
Maybe they could replace it,
Right. This is repairing the concrete.
right.
Well,
I
my
think-
suggestion would be to put in a, article to ask for $20,000 out of surplus to
To
repair.
repair it. That's not a bad idea, because then we could kind of,
You know, and if people wanna
Investigate this a
raise it or
little bit.
lower it, you know, they wanna talk about it,
well,
town
and you could
meeting.
use it for the metal on the sides, you could
Yeah.
use it for just the epoxy injection.
Right,
Concrete will last a long time, even if it's cracked.
right,
I mean, the huge cracks horizontally, I'm assuming they're going this way along the walls, not, I mean, excuse me, not vertically, horizontally. He's got here entire length of the horizontal crack. So it goes this
Right.
way.
yes,
There's two big cracks, one
Yes.
on each wall.
yes,
So, I mean, if we asked for a sum of money, you could use that 20,000 for this, which is a good idea.
Yeah.
The regrading, the 5,600 for the epoxy injection, and then maybe before we spent the rest of it, we could check and see how much would it cost to fix the metal along the sides.
Right.
You know?
Right,
Maybe
well,
we
just-
could get all of it done.
right. Well, when you guys do concrete walls, you guys paint it black afterwards, or you
The
have,
waterproofing that goes on the
right,
outside.
or use water and ice shield.
Yeah, that's what, if you, he said you can come out and spray something, spray applied waterproofing for $74.88. You can buy, I mean, if you could get Wellman to maybe incorporate this into their price, you can buy buckets of tar or rolls of ice and water shield. When we do an addition, because concrete does not bond to concrete very
Right,
well,
right.
Rick always lines the corner with ice and water
Water
shield.
shield, that's what I thought.
Because you put it on your roof,
Right.
that's what it's for.
Right, as long as it doesn't get exposure from the sun, it
Right.
will last forever.
Right. And you could put that along those walls and then backfill it.
Right.
That would be probably a more economical.
What do you think,
waterproofing
Cindy? What's your,
I like the ice and water shield
idea?
idea.
no,
Yeah.
about putting an article in.
I got an article in, I'm just waiting for a number.
Oh, what is your, I haven't even gotten to that article yet.
Well, let me ask Linda. Linda, what's your thoughts? You're here.
I wouldn't commit to that until you ask the town.
Right.
Right, well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, you're okay with putting an article in the,
I think it would be better to do it that way than to jump in, and you may get some more ideas.
Right,
Right,
get some
right.
more cost-effective
yeah?
Yeah.
resolutions for
The
it.
article reads, to see what sum of money the town will vote to raise and appropriate for the repair of the town's sand salt shed.
Okay.
Now, can we reword that, just take it out of surplus and not
We
raise?
can add to the 100 over here.
Okay. I would do it that way, because you've got the surplus there.
Yeah.
I mean-
I'm on your page. I think it's a good
You
idea.
want 20 or 25?
Well, if you go with 25 and you only use 17, you can always give it
Yeah.
back. Am I
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. I would say go with 25. 'cause
25.
steel, if we were going to replace any of the metal
Right.
or do any metal work, that's expensive.
Yeah, what did they charge us? Do you remember to do that back wall?
I don't. I'd have to go searching through.
Trying to think.
What do they do? Do they take out some of those bows and replace
No,
them?
no, they just replaced the back.
Oh, I see.
Oh, to replace this part?
The arch
Yeah,
part.
there's a cap that they screw on.
Right.
That holds sections on.
Right. We've
and you
done
can replace
Quonset
them.
huts before, and it's
Right.
all parts and pieces. It's like a big Lego set.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Try doing it with glass.
Yeah, no, thank you. So I think that's
Okay, so
kind of the way.
change Article 27, which is the fund, undesignated fund balance surplus, to reduce the amount to be raised by taxes to 120.
125.
You want 25.
Yeah, let's do 125.
And then the article to repair the salt shed is 25,000.
Yeah. To see, and we can say then, when we open it for discussion, we may or may not have to use all that. What we'd
Yeah.
like to do is see what we can get done for the best price.
Just tell them what's the matter with it,
Right,
what the options are, and,
okay.
okay?
Now, Gina and I come across the Miles Road the other day,
You wanna-
the other night.
Yeah,
We need some signs up, seriously, up there. We need corner signs, reflective signs,
Okay.
a speed limit sign. I would put up 35-mile-an-hour speed limit signs, because if you're coming from Dixmont Carmel around the corner, there is no signs to say that there is a corner by the schoolhouse
okay.
lane.
You had called the state, we are allowed to put up whatever signs we deem necessary.
Yeah.
How long does it take to order those signs?
Week,
A week? Well, why don't we, at the same time, order stop signs for over on Littlefield Road? Stop ahead, 2 stop ahead, and 2 stop signs.
if you were to somehow go around and do an evaluation,
Well, that's what I was
come up
thinking.
with a list,
Okay?
we could order them and get them this year.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, because there's still enough money in our summer road budget to pay for that without appropriating anything else.
Yeah.
Well, I know the ones on the Miles Road, and there should be a couple on the Mudgett Road too.
I had a guy from the Dahlia Farm Road, Scott Kennedy, called today. Cindy, he goes, they're paving all around me, he says. Where'd they go? I said, they'll be back after the 1st of June, Scott, I said, but they will
He's the
be,
one with
they're
the-
gonna repair the ditch.
Yeah,
I said,
he runs the pump, concrete pump.
Yeah,
Right, I
he
know.
says, they're gonna repair the ditch. He goes, that's good. He goes, I see a lot of people down in that ditch this
Yeah,
winter.
yeah.
And I said, they're gonna fix that ditch and build it up and fill it in, and they'll be back, and told him why they're waiting till after the 1st of June.
Oh, good, because he can
So-
tell his neighbors over there
Yeah,
too. That's good.
So,
Where are you gonna put the signs on the Littlefield Road? Which way? You're gonna put the signs on the Littlefield Road?
4-way stop
Four ways,
signs,
we're gonna make stop signs over there.
stops and
3-way then.
4-way.
We can put a sign on the other,
Yeah.
on the town right of way.
And then caution, stop ahead signs is what you said. But
Yeah, I would say.
you ought to go around, make a point, and go around.
Well, I
do
was
an
thinking of
evaluation,
grabbing, like Jim Connolly or Eric and Scott, because,
Have them give you
yeah,
recommendations.
because I would hire them guys to come out and put them in. Or,
Right.
or Allen Farm Fence.
Yeah, so, you oughta, cause what the DOT said is generally what happens is, you get an engineer to come up with a plan, but, I mean.
Right,
doesn't
It's
take
pretty,
an
it's pretty
engineering degree
common
to-
sense.
You could
So-
throw, I mean, we could get you said 35 miles an hour on the Miles Road.
Yeah, I would
I
just,
think you should put 35 miles an hour on Littlefield Road.
yeah, oh,
honestly.
yeah. The only ones that have 45 is the Chapman Road.
The North Road's probably a
Yeah,
45 mile an hour.
but I don't see.
Not that we
But you
need a
can
need.
put it, you can change it as you get closer to that intersection and
Right.
change it to 35, and then
Yeah.
afterwards change it back to 45.
Right.
I'm trying.
Just a, dangerous intersection. put
Well,
all
we
the
have
signage,
on the North Road, we have that sharp corner sign, it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's a dog leg on the end
Yeah.
there.
Yeah,
So,
and the Mudgett
Come up
Road
with
has
a-
one and the
come up
Miles
with
Road
a-
has one,
Alright.
so
plan.
When do you want to do that?
I'm pretty much open. You can,
Um,
or if you want, I can get a hold of Eric and I can do it.
yeah, I shouldn't be riding around town with a bunch of men in the truck, just so you know, I don't feel comfortable doing it.
Oh, we would though.
That's, Rick, I'll be right back,
the
I'm gonna
bike-
climb in a truck with 4 guys.
Get that bike registered and Rick can ride around behind them with you on the bike.
Okay. But yeah, that's fine with me, buddy, if you wanna
Yes,
get a hold of somebody and take a toot around and that sort of thing.
right.
I'm not afraid to get in a truck with you guys.
I know.
Just so you know.
I think I've been in truck before with you.
We had a couple other things
Okay.
on the on the agenda that you missed the closing of the office June 30th for closing books altogether.
Okay,
That's fine, I'm,
Yeah.
what
So
day is that?
That is, I believe it's a Thursday.
I'm gonna look right now, cause it's my birthday. It
really?
is a Thursday.
Still
Yeah.
29.
Yeah, 29.
And it just helps because we have to do a whole bunch of stuff.
Just make sure you put
We
up
will publicize it.
notices and so, hey, everybody, we are going to be closed that
The
day.
generator contract, you wanted me to find out, about an, emergency price. And the price is $95 an hour plus mileage.
Okay,
They're just 10 minutes from here because I had to call them yesterday.
okay.
All these alarms and stuff that we've been getting, our block heater hasn't been working.
Oh, well, there you go.
So
So have you called to terminate the
I
contract?
sent him a letter today.
Okay,
Said, Mr. William, the town of Newburgh wants to thank you for your service, for you servicing the town's generator. But we regret to inform you that in an effort to cut costs, we no longer are able to honor the contract for 15 years that was signed by the previous town manager in 2005 illegally. To explain, neither the manager nor the board have the authority to sign contracts on behalf of the town for any more than 3 years without a vote of the town. Again, thank you for your service.
great, okay.
So I sent that one out, and I have signed this, but I haven't sent it to them.
Okay,
But it's gonna be a savings of almost $600
okay,
just in the annual contracts.
okay.
And like I said, I called them yesterday, and there was somebody in the shop, and they're 10 minutes from here.
Good.
He wasn't 10 minutes, he was here,
Okay,
so,
that's fine with me. Do you need a vote on that or anything or no?
no, you're
Okay,
all set. What else did we miss? Okay, so the warrant in the town report is supposed to go to the printer tomorrow.
Okay,
If you can look it over tonight, let us know if you find anything.
okay,
I am gonna need, once I change the numbers on this, I can change the numbers in the town report, but I'm gonna need to get this signed and so we can get it posted and all of
Okay.
that good stuff.
I'll be around tomorrow and,
Okay, so
I mean-
once I get it changed, you're gonna have to just meet briefly,
yeah,
we accept it, sign it,
okay,
so. But that can be done after Monday,
okay,
but I gotta do it quickly because I'm running out of time.
right, right.
So,
Anything else on that
I
we
don't
missed?
believe so, I think we've
Okay.
covered everything.
Hi,
Figured I'd see what you guys are all
We're all
about.
done.
all right, no, we're not.
Please.
Can I just one thing?
Yeah, no, I'm not done either.
Okay.
Okay. Go ahead.
You know, I told you about the cemetery up there, the Levitt Cemetery, that tree being down.
Yeah,
Well, it's beginning to look worse now because the kids, I don't know who's mowing this year. They're doing a good job of the mowing, but they can't mow under that tree. And now it's beginning to look like a hayfield because you can't, it's all around, it's all grown up around that tree. And
Can-
you've got to get
I
that
told Butch
section.
about it yesterday.
okay.
Well, he
And,
needs to do something. And also, in the cemetery across the road, there's a tree that the branch came down off it, and it's all dead tree laying inside the cemetery. And then you go down and look at the back side of that cemetery in the lower left-hand corner, and I don't know how long it's been laying there. There is a mounds and mounds of leaves up against the fence, just rotting.
Where's this? Which one?
Which
No.
cemetery?
No,
Up here.
yeah, go down in the left-hand corner. I hadn't known, we went up to trim.
Is that the one up by Amos Kimball's?
Yeah, that's the
Okay.
one on the left-hand side of the road.
Right.
The tree is down on the right-hand side of the road. And
That's where that
That's the
cleanup
stone.
comes in.
Right.
We have a contract for mowing. He doesn't, and he
Oh,
mows,
not a-
and that's
not a
how the
spring
leaf-
cleanup,
no,
yeah.
those cleanup, and, you know, he comes in and mows, and those leaves go up against the fence, and we didn't pay, that's not what he gets paid for, and I went through this. I do have one cleanup budgeted, hopefully we get the money.
Well, it's beginning to look really bad.
I know.
because it's
I tried to
been
get it-
accumulating, and it's that fence right down through that whole corner, and the tree up on, and Amos knows about the tree being in the yard, but he doesn't want to complain. But it's in the yard, it's one of the branches off one of those big trees, and it's come down.
Yeah.
That's not so bad, but the one on the other side of the road looks crappy, because it's almost out to the road, and I think it took out one of the stones. I won't go in, that cemetery is so hard to park at, I won't go in, but it looks as though one of the stones got knocked,
One of them did.
can't. But that now that the grass keeps growing, and they can't get at it with a mower, it really looks, it's just.
No, if the sexton doesn't get it, can Pat do it, Dean?
He's gonna have to, if it's as big as I think it is.
Yeah.
Cause I was up to the Knowlton one, cause I've had another issue with, grave, gentleman was in here tonight again. And Butch has gone up twice. They went up yesterday and did a burial and fixed this other one. But he was gonna go up, or try to go up today, but he wasn't sure, cause he had to work.
Yeah, it's still, everything's still there.
And,
It's gone up this afternoon.
but he's gonna try to get up there and evaluate if we have to hire somebody, we'll have to hire somebody, but
It's not a very big tree. If you.
Good firewood?
I don't know, it might be hardwood, it might be poplar though.
Okay, all right.
so,
What else did you have?
It was brought to my attention. My question to Cindy is, do we own and take care of the fire pond?
yeah,
Does the town own the fire pond and take care of the fire pond?
as far as I know.
Lady asked me if we could budget money to clean up the fire pond, because it's disgraceful.
It is disgraceful. It is kind of a mess down there.
Do it now before I put these numbers away.
The fence needs to be fixed, it needs to be cut back, probably re-dug out, and you need a dry hydrant put in. Sorry. I promised her I would bring it up. I brought it up.
What if we just fix the fence, cleaned up the alder bushes, and fix the dry hydrant? Is that what you just said?
Yep,
I thought you said one more thing.
no,
Redig it.
I'll dig out what's in it, because I don't know how deep it is. I know nothing about the fire pond. And is it part of the building maintenance fund, and what fund would we use to,
You'd have to either add to the building fund of sort, or do just another article, just like the salt shed, for repair and,
Would Patrick Dean go in there and cut all the brushes and haul them out?
yeah.
You're gonna find it's difficult to cut, that's what's been kind of a problem, is that so steep around it to cut on the outside of that fence. That's why the guys were gonna rip the fence up and cut from kind of on the inside, because those bushes are growing right up into the fence.
Right, because here's the pond and here's the
Yeah.
fence. That's what the
And
problem
It's a matter of
is.
not putting a chainsaw up against.
right? The way to do it would be to, number one, take the fence down, which means you're probably gonna end up ruining the fence to take it down. And then you don't cut nothing, you go in there with an excavator and clean up all your berms and the outer ring of
Smooth it
it.
up. Get it so you can mow it.
And then you put the fence back on top of the berm, not on the outside part of the berm.
And the liability on that is you gotta take that fence down and put it right back up.
Yeah.
The liability, that was the
Yeah,
first.
as
thing.
long as it's cautioned, taped off and blocked off.
Right.
From the road, you have to have a Jersey barrier or something, I remember
But you would be
reading about
amazed
it.
the kids that swam in that pond.
No, I know.
It was.
When was the pond put there, Linda, do you
There's a
remember?
critter living in there now.
It was probably
I
more than
can't
one.
remember, it's been quite a while. It's,
It was in the 90s, right?
I think so. I think, it might have been, because Gary was, I think Gary was chief, and it was a pain, he had to go over and chase those kids out, and we got the fence up. And-
Right,
And
Well-
what you did, the bushes have just ingrown to the fence.
right.
Taking down that fence and replacing it is probably a fair amount of money.
Right,
$5,000,
yeah, probably, if not more.
yeah. And the excavation around it probably would be a day, maybe two.
Hmm.
So that's probably,
Another $5 or $6 grand.
Oh, no, probably not that much. Probably about $2,500 if you could find somebody to. 25. I'd say 3,000. It's usually you hire out an excavator at 150.
50, 175, yeah.
Exactly, right
Sometimes
in
two.
there for machine and man.
My suggestion would be talk to Glenn
We did.
recently.
Yep. You know what his answers were? Let the alders grow and it keeps all the debris out of it.
That was just, well, never mind. But it's just that people will do things for the fire department that they would charge the town for. I'm sorry, I just,
And Linda, we don't have a problem with these.
I would love to have the fire department hire somebody. Love it. All I ask for is call Dig Safe, show me an insurance certificate. Here's a scenario that I've seen happen, Linda. I'm gonna go over to your house and I'm gonna bring my equipment and I'm gonna work on your backyard for 3 hours. No problem, I'm not gonna charge you anything. I get there, I get working on the equipment, I get a phone call, I've gotta go somewhere else. Hey, my buddy can do it. He can get in the equipment. He gets in the equipment, he tips it over, he gets hurt, and somebody else gets hurt trying to help him. You know, that's a liability. That's like taking that fence down and leaving it down, Linda. To have somebody come in there without showing an insurance certificate, and that's not a lot to ask. The lack of cooperation from you guys is tiresome. Very tiresome. Tiresome and juvenile. I asked for 3 things, they shut the whole thing down. Well, you know what? That you guys are just, I don't know how to deal with that other than to just not deal with it at all.
we've never done one without Dig Safe. That's what.
Well, I beg to differ. Galen came to my office that day and said, we don't have to call Dig Safe. We aren't in the roadway. I'm like, Galen, it's a law. You got to call Dig Safe. Gave him a list, 3 things. Glenn doesn't talk back. It's just that simple. You heard what he just said to Buddy. I mean, let the alder bushes grow up. You want I don't care if we spend any money on that pond. Let the alder bushes grow up then.
Okay?
They can explain to the town why we don't have any working dry hydrants. Is that okay with you? Do you want me to just talk to Glenn?
As I said before, we had, actually, he had already had DEP approval on that pond.
Oh, that's fine.
Okay.
That's
But
fine that he had
somewhere
to.
along the way, it got dropped communication-wise. It just,
No, what happened, Linda, is the fact that all the firemen showed up one night and grossed us all out because we wouldn't give Mike, or if I remember that's his name, a gift certificate.
Right.
All the firemen showed up that night, you were here, and grossed us out just because we wouldn't give out a gift certificate. You know.
yeah, I know you can't give out a gift. I'm
Okay.
aware of that.
And I
Sometimes
can't
they
let nobody-
Sometimes it needs to be explained. Sometimes you have to sit them down and explain things. I do know
You
that.
send them right to us anytime you want. I would love to sit down with every fireman out here and tell them exactly how this town is run, how she does it, how she does it. This isn't old school anymore. Old school's gone. You cannot pull a piece of equipment in a town and do any work unless you have an insurance certificate. Number one, no ifs and buts about it, and she ain't gonna sign off to hire anybody to do any work unless you have an insurance certificate.
Fine, and that's fine. That's, what I'm telling you is sometimes people will do things for the town. And at a rate that they will come in and not charge.
Right. I get it.
I'll tell you, discount towing, I'll be quite frank with you, you have no idea how much money he has just not.
Does he have insurance?
Of course he has insurance.
Well,
Give
what's
us a
the big deal?
certificate.
I imagine he's, somewhere along the line, he's probably given everybody a certificate many times over. But that's what I'm saying, is that's where,
We don't have a problem with
But you have to
discount.
do it, there's rules to follow, there's people to contact, and you can't just go in and dig into stuff without permission.
and that's what I'm trying to tell you, is that they have DEP permission, they had, and they always used dig safe. That's the first thing when we talk about any dry hydrant, is okay, we'll get hold of dig safe.
Where's the paperwork?
Again, you'd have to ask Glenn, or if you want to take care of it, like this, when they came up with $13,000 here to do that the other night, I almost fell off my chair. It's,
Because
That's
Glenn
just
was
kind of
gonna pump the pond out.
and he had DEP
He
approval.
did not.
Okay.
You show me a permit,
Okay.
and I'll believe that he had, because the
And
gentleman from the DEP, I got a permit and I can show it to you. Their office had not heard from us all.
Unfortunately, Glenn tells us a lot of things, but has nothing to back it up. And just like I asked you the other day about an obstruction in the right-of-way, Linda, for me to believe in what you're telling me, give me a piece of paper, a statute that shows me exactly what you're telling me, because believe me,
We'll
I
get
sat in
questioned
front
on it.
of, I sat in front of 300 people, dumbfounded, trying to tell them we lost $250,000 to a woman. And I'll tell you right now, I will never, ever take a word from anybody out there unless you give me a piece of paper.
But I didn't ask you that. I asked you, did you think you were going to be responsible as a town for that? I didn't tell you. I asked you what you
No,
felt.
you were telling me, I'll show you the minutes. You listen to the minutes. Your conversation to me was,
The question, do you think you're going to be responsible? And
if somebody hits,
then you read from MRI, and they told you, get rid of the fence. They're your legal people, and they told you, get rid of the fence. And that
They
was
told us
what-
not to touch the fence,
Not
basically.
to touch the fence.
They
but
told us
have
not to
them
touch the
get rid
fence.
of it, and
That
that's
was
what
one
scared
of
me.
the options. That was one
Right.
of their
That was
recommendations.
their number one option, and that's what scares me.
Yeah.
When MRA tells you something and then you don't.
if
follow
somebody
it.
comes down Tapley Farm Road and runs into that fence and gets hurt by doing it, then I'm guessing they're going way too fast. The cause of the accident wasn't because of the fence. Just like when I go off the road and hit a telephone pole, it wasn't the telephone pole fault. And I ain't gonna sue the person that
CMP
telephone
doesn't
pole.
get, right.
You know, I have to, my insurance company has to pay to replace that telephone pole. You
The
know,
question was, did you feel that you would be responsible?
well,
And I still worry about that. That kind of scares me, but that,
well, then we should go to all the trees and all the fences and everything and have them all taken down. Because it's the Tapley Farm Road and there's a stop sign where the fence is. And if you hit that fence and you get hurt,
I'm not talking about it hitting. I'm talking about even if it falls over into the road in the snowstorm and somebody hits it. And
That's their liability.
pay attention.
That's
If
their
I
liability.
run into a tree that falls in the road, that's my problem.
Okay. You don't feel responsible for it.
No, I don't.
So,
I really don't. Especially when we had 15 people back there saying, what's the problem? It seems like you're gonna turn the town upside down over a fence. Do you see where we're coming from, Linda, about this
I
fence?
see that, but when you read that statement about what they, MRI said to do, that kind of scares me when they're telling you that's the best option, and you don't.
That's
think
not what
that
they
scares
said.
me.
They said our options were, we could force them to take the fence down or get them to sign an agreement that they are aware that it's in the right of way and file it at the registry, which takes the liability off the town.
And for Helen to sit here and threaten these people, well, I'm gonna call their insurance company just so that they know.
I know,
I mean, really?
they're a young couple trying to make
Again,
ends meet,
juvenile.
but
You
anyway.
know, it just blows my mind about some of these people in this town. It really does. But then again, that's,
It's why we're a fractured town.
yeah, it has
It's why
been.
we're a fractured community. We're
Yep.
not a community, we are a fractured community. The south side of Newburgh gets along fine, the north road gets
Yep.
along fine, you
Now you
know?
all get Todd Road, so there shouldn't be any problem with that anymore.
Well, I'm just talking
Oh,
about
no, believe me, they'll find
community-wise.
something. There'll be something that will be going on in this town. But it's the way every town is. You know, I've gone to other selectmen meetings out there. It's the way every town is.
So,
So we don't wanna do anything with
I would
the
say,
fire pond?
do you wanna do anything with the fire pond?
Hey, are we fixing the dry hydrant?
We didn't get the money. There's not enough money left. There was only 5,000 after we did the drain and the building.
I don't know, why Glenn isn't here Glenn hasn't been here for the last three,
On the last run, they've had 3 calls today.
but I'm just saying, wasn't here the meeting before, he wasn't here the meeting before that, so. And he hasn't come to the one budget meeting he come to, we wanna put officers in the building, fire department, that ain't gonna happen, we've got
We were
perfect
told they would all
office space
quit.
up here.
They would all quit.
So, I mean, there's no reason why you guys can still hold your trainings and do everything you need to do down at the fire station. If you need to sit down and have personnel, conversation with the personnel matter, there's no reason why you can't do it right here. That's my feeling. I think,
Or business meetings.
yeah,
So
business
do you wanna
meetings.
do just something to clean it up? Never mind the dry hydrant and rely?
Well, I'm not gonna clean it up if it ain't gonna do us any good. I mean, the only reason it's there is,
Float docks in it, and they have the pump station that, I guess for now, the pump works,
The
but
pump works in the building,
that's what I'm assuming.
It works, but it's wheezing,
but it's what?
wheezing.
Wheezing.
yes, and if I remember correctly, Glenn came to ask us for $5,000 or $10,000 to have it
$10,000.
for a new pump, and what did we ask him?
Is the old one broken?
And what, no,
What
give
was-
us some paperwork,
Right.
give us a quote on a new pump. I mean, I'm not gonna give you $10,000 to go buy a new pump. The board can't do that. We can appropriate $9,433 to have the new pump brought in. We need a piece of paper to say, I need a new pump. And here's the price on 4 of them.
Right.
You know, it's like the lights that you guys bought, $250 at NH Bragg. You do realize I went to Home Depot and they got the exact same light for $99.
Oh, I don't think it's quite the same way.
Is it a battery operated?
Yeah. I'm just saying, you know, I understand you need that equipment. It's great you needed that equipment. I'll be the first one to sign the warrant for that equipment. But I also believe in shopping around. You know, look at other avenues, ventures. Rigid makes a nice work light that I use. But that's besides the point. Sorry. What do you want to do? This town needs a dry hydrant. Now, whether or not the float docks are gonna work or not, I don't know. But I also don't wanna spend $13,000 on a new hydrant.
Well, you gotta take into effect, you can do a dry hydrant, but if it's not maintained, same thing's gonna happen that's happened to
Right.
this one.
What do you
Right.
mean it's not maintained?
In other words, we don't have our fire chief going around having guys go out and blow the ends of them out to keep them.
I'm not even gonna go there, cause I spent
Well, I need you to go
Well,
there.
give us a,
crews doing that, so I'm not even gonna go there with that one.
you could,
When's the last time these dry hydrants has all been blown out?
Not remember. to be
I bet it's been more than 4 years.
No, it's not been more than 4 years.
I bet it's been more than 3 years.
That's what Glenn told us. They haven't been maintained
Yep.
for
They've got
4 or
some
5
that are,
years.
they're out of commission.
Because they haven't been maintained.
Not because they haven't been maintained.
How come you don't have, we gave you the money last year to do the metal roof on the rest of the metal roof? Never got to it. Glenn's words right there.
You have to have, it's like the inside of the firehouse, like the other things, the jail crew was gonna come and take care of some of that. It didn't happen.
Yeah.
We don't consult with jail crew. That's not
No.
our job.
Oh, I'm talking about just the metal roof. We understand the paint job. I mean, that's basic. I can go get my partner and him and I could have it done in probably 2 days. I'd love to have a couple of firemen there to help me. That'd be great. I'll be the first one there knocking on the door. Let's go. I got rollers.
Well, you
We
know,
got the paint.
sometimes they spent most of the day up there today, working on stuff in the firehouse. You can only ask people to do so much.
You got that right.
And when you spend a full day today, probably they're gonna go back tomorrow to finish what they have to do. And you ask them to spend that 2 or 3 days a week, maybe 4 times a month. You can only ask them to do so much.
I know.
And you got, this isn't just Glenn. You got people that are fed up. And some of it is.
Crew's only as good as its
communication.
leader, just so you know.
Pardon?
Crew is only as good as its leader.
A lot of times the leader isn't there. These guys were working all day. Gillen was there, two other guys.
But these guys usually already know what they're doing.
Yeah,
I mean, Glenn doesn't need to be there to hold their hand.
he doesn't. But you still got the volunteers there doing work. And you can only ask volunteers to do so much.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I think you need to sit down. Some of it's communication.
We have sat with Glenn and looked him right in the eye.
Okay, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Would you send up 3 firemen to sit with the board?
But
Would you have Glenn take 3 firemen that we do not know, not Brent Summers, not Dwight, but 3 firemen, to come up and sit down and talk with the board? And show them, let us tell them, not let Glenn, don't let them listen to Linda during a business meeting, you know. Come talk to us. This is what we need to do. This is the administration part of the fire department.
Right.
That's the biggest problem with the firemen now, is they don't know the administrative part of the fire department. Did you know we do not know what is for inventory in the fire department?
yes, you do.
Does she probably has a list now.
As of the past week.
Did we know 5 years ago?
Yes,
Nope.
you did. I have been up there with them and counted when we've done inventory. Some of this stuff is not right because there's been inventories done and they've been turned in. And so some of it is just, I don't know where the communication has been dropped, but I mean, I went up there and did it 1 year with them. They've done inventory and they brought it up to date. Galen spent, I don't know how long, but he got it up to date again. But again, I think he's probably put in 20, 30 hours this week already. And tomorrow he'll go back up there and work on the other. And you can't
Rescue
ask.
had no inventory.
Rescue had no inventory. We just had the truck, right?
They're not insured. Their inventory wasn't insured. It won't be until Kelly's working on it.
Yeah.
She should have
And
it
did you
shortly.
ask somebody in rescue?
They're doing it now.
Yeah, but rescue isn't the fire department. Rescue is your department. That's yours. Somebody here should have been seeing that there was an inventory.
Well, we have a chief. We have a chief over the rescue department, correct?
Did you ask him?
Well, it's kind of, you know, you log in if I'm buying something for my company, I have a file, but put the copies of receipts in the file for inventory so that I can add it to my insurance company.
But you've got the receipts. You handled that. You handled the business and the
See,
purchasing.
see, Linda, right there, that's where the communication drops right there. It's your responsibility. It's not our responsibility. It should be, let's work together. Give me a call every year. Give me a call and remind me, and I'll give you a new inventory. I'll look at the inventory and see if it changes.
Perfect.
But that's a good example of, it's yours, not mine. That's your department, not my department. The fire department's my department. The rescue's your department. Actually, it's all the town's departments.
Well, we won't go there.
No, we won't go there because that's splitting hairs. If the fire department did not have town funds, what would it be?
It would still be a nonprofit fire department with volunteers who do a service for this town.
I understand they do a service for
And that's
this
fine, but what I'm
town.
saying is when that was set up as first responders, then somebody in this office should have said, okay, now we need to get an inventory and we need to keep track of all the equipment that's bought. And somebody in this office should have taken care of starting that up as part of a town department. You would do that with any other department within the town.
Well, the department's 5 years old now, rescue?
I have no idea.
Okay. I don't think anybody's here 5 years ago that was here.
Well, that's what I'm
Okay,
saying,
but no, Linda, let me show you the perfect example that way it should be done. Glenn goes, picks up new powered light, battery operated light for the Rescue or for the fire department?
Rescue had some,
Rescue or the fire department? So we've got more than one light.
we've got two, and rescue has one, right? Rescue got one,
Yeah,
and we got two,
okay, so the fire department has two,
yeah.
and rescue's got one. So what should have been done is, when that receipt comes to the town, Cindy checks the receipt, Cindy says, all right, oh, geez, we can add this light to the fire department, okay? I mean, to the rescue. Now, the other lights, we only signed on one paper for that one light, right?
No, you didn't pay for the other ones, you didn't pay for.
So the auxiliary bought the other two lights, so we wouldn't have known with inventory in that. So we went and just picked up two lights for the fire department. I better call Cindy and say, make sure we add that to the inventory. You will never, ever have Mr. Glenn do that, or Linda, or anybody else.
You do the inventory once a year and you add it.
No, you do it as it comes in.
It's just like when Brent had somebody do some work on the road, it was Brent's job to come in on the computer and input that in our road study program. What's that called? But it was never done.
We have a sheet now.
So now it is
Come up
done.
with a sheet, and as they buy stuff, if they make the sheet up, I will put it in the computer and keep it up to date.
Right.
We're not gonna get
But when you
bombarded at
started
the end of the
up,
week.
That rescue, yes, it should have been,
Should have been done.
yes, okay, that's hindsight's 2020. What are we doing about it now? No more bitching about hindsight 2020. That,
No, Kelly's taking care of it for you.
bingo. Why is Kelly taking care of it?
Why is Kelly taking care of it?
No, why is it being taken care of now? Because we know we need to have inventory of everything that this town owns. Everything. Every sign, cone.
But we have been doing
EpiPen.
inventory, so saying that we haven't, that's just not right, because we have been doing inventories.
I know, but the question is, does she have all the records for the trucks? Does she have all the records for the inventory? Does she have records for every time not generator, but the pump was worked on? Does she have receipts and records on that?
Yeah.
Anything that the auxiliary buys or does for the fire department, does she have a record on it?
When you're saying auxiliary, the auxiliary is the fire department.
No, what I'm saying is, when the auxiliary just bought two lights, am I right?
Yeah,
For the town of Newburgh Fire Department.
right.
Okay, so now, a bulb blows in that. Who's gonna fix the bulb? Auxiliary or the town?
Probably the auxiliary will end up, the way you've got the budget, I don't think there's any doubt about that, would be if I ain't.
But I'm just saying, normally, who would fix the light bulb? The town.
Hopefully,
So that is now town property, am I right?
as far as you know right now, yes.
Okay, so you have donated, the auxiliary has donated these two lights to the fire department of the town of Newburgh. I'm not gonna play this three-game,
No,
you have the fire department auxiliary, you have the Newburgh Volunteer Fire Department, and then you have the town of Newburgh Volunteer Fire Department.
no. That's something that you don't, I don't know, you just don't get it.
Okay, well, talk to us so that we can get it.
Newburgh Volunteer Fire Department is a non-profit corporation. The auxiliary is within the Newburgh Volunteer Fire Department, but it's all the same organization.
Okay,
You all have the
Okay.
same tax ID number?
Yes, and we, as a Newburgh Volunteer Fire Department and the Newburgh Volunteer Firemen, provide a service for the town. That was part of what our charter was, to provide fire protection, et cetera, for the town. Okay? That's the Newburgh Volunteer Fire Department, with the auxiliary being within, it was part of the fire department. So we buy things, and we have always in the past. Now, if you want to appoint somebody, maybe get Galen to do it on the side, to bring in if we buy anything new, but everything else new except for those lights, actually. And we replaced, actually we bought batteries, we bought some other stuff as well. But that's just replacement of batteries of existing things, so it isn't a new item. It's just something we put batteries in.
But it's still a new item, but if she doesn't have,
Yeah, but it isn't, it's not, it's a replacement. If you've got a flashlight battery and you put a new battery in it because the old one is gone.
Yeah.
You're not, that shouldn't go in inventory.
No.
But-
Because you're just replacing the battery.
Yeah.
That's supplies.
Yeah,
right,
that's supplies.
but you have a receipt for that battery, because the auxiliary bought it.
Right.
Okay. You don't think she should have a copy of the receipt just to have on file?
For why? Because it's not, it's
Let me
just a
explain something to
replacement.
you.
Go ahead.
This is a perfect example, the insurance, okay? And this is why I've changed it and come up with a form, that every time we buy something, I need that form filled out, because I have to notify the insurance company. If you've got 2 lights down in that building that you just spent $500 on, and that building burns tomorrow, they replace what's on that list I give
Yeah,
them.
I know that. But
So
you didn't,
those aren't insured.
they aren't insured,
No.
no, they aren't on the inventory he just
Nope.
gave you? They're not on the inventory he just gave you?
I don't know, but if they're not, that's why I
They
said,
won't, they,
we can't
I-
update this once a year. It has to be done
Every-
as we get it.
and if I remember correctly, they won't replace them, even though it's on the inventory. They're gonna ask you, well, how much were they? You're gonna have to say,
They're
well,
working on that.
you know,
I
we
gave
need a
the list.
receipt, a copy of the Newburgh Auxiliaries receipt. We can't go, well, the town bought this one and the auxiliary bought these two, and just multiply that receipt times 3.
Oh, I've got the receipts, but that's, so why don't you, if you've got a problem with that, which, I mean, we only buy stuff once a year or twice a year for things like that, then just get somebody else to give you the receipts, or to give you, to tell you, yeah, I think it's on that inventory.
It could be. I don't know, I haven't looked, but it was the point of the whole
But we're
thing.
just using this as example, Linda.
Right.
You know, we're looking for the future. You know, when every time you guys buy something, whether you buy, the auxiliary buys it, the volunteer buys it, or the town buys it, I truthfully believe, not just her, whoever sits in that chair 5 years from now, they can go back and says, oh geez, the auxiliary bought 2 lights, they're still under warranty. She's gone, I'm gone, you're gone, she's gone, you got a whole new crew in here. At least we know, because now we can't go back 5 years ago and see what's in that. And what has worn out, when did we buy it?
But it doesn't, it's not only that. If something is done, for example, Galen's down working in the building. He's down there expanding the air system and running new lines to the new section. That should be documented somewhere.
Right.
When it was done,
You don't
who
want to
did it.
document everybody's work.
Yes, you do.
If it's done into the
If it's done in
building,
that
it's our
with that
building.
Equipment, it needs to be documented somewhere. It's just like that drain in the back of the building. That wasn't documented as to who did what, or what it was done, or where it ended, or no diagrams, no nothing. We spent thousands of dollars trying to find something somebody did that they didn't document. If they'd have documented it, somebody could have pulled out a piece of paper and said, oh, it goes about right here in the floor, and he just set it with a pile of rocks. No, we spent thousands of tax dollars digging for a drain.
That never was there.
Somebody did and didn't let anybody know or didn't document.
It's just like you asking us about the drain at the sand salt shed. I'm not gonna go down there and dig up the bank looking for a drain. I'm gonna have to use taxpayers' money to go down there and find out if there's a drain there. Or hopefully, we have blueprints
Right.
to the building,
We will,
you know?
but that's the thing, there's nothing, everybody thought that when the office came together, you know, that what they had in their house was theirs,
Right.
evidently, because nothing comes in here where people come looking.
Right.
I have a book where I have gone to the registry and everything to get information to keep on file and everything we've done. The drain out here when we fixed it. Same thing with this building. Not a soul has
Well,
a
it's-
copy of the plumbing permit.
It's just called a maintenance log.
Yeah.
A building maintenance log, a truck maintenance log.
The book that I've started has the deeds, it has diagrams, it's got a diary since I've been here in the year and a half of doing this. You know, we did this on this date. this is what we found on this date. So you're not
A per-
starting 51st days for the rest of the Newburgh's life. You know,
Perfect.
somebody's gotta document something some way.
A perfect example is I've been a selectman with a year off for 15 years. And I never knew the little fire station next to Buddy's house was owned by you guys. That was deeded to you guys, auxiliary. And here we are for the past 15 years, the town, taxpayers' money, putting money into it. And not once did anybody say, why are you putting money into that building? It ain't yours.
Why do you think it's not? Did you look for Richie Bartlett's lease?
Got it in the other room.
And this was just brought to my attention.
Volunteer fire department.
15 years, not once. When Nancy Hatch said, we gotta put a roof on that building. It's okay, how much? So we had a guy go over and see how much it was.
Well, maybe we'll pull a fire truck out of it and move our offices over there.
Hey, hell,
We'd love to have you as neighbors.
we
I don't know
just
why you would
insulated it,
travel,
Spend a lot of money.
I don't know why you'd travel an extra 4 miles over there when you could come right here, but that's besides the point. Oh, it's not safe, sorry. But that's besides the point. But I'm just saying, Linda, that's the mentality
So,
that
so
we've been
we
working.
don't have a deed to that? We
No.
maintain,
Deed, it belongs to the volunteer
Tier five.
association.
Right.
Richie's father deeded it to the volunteer association. Because the town built this one up here and owned this property.
right.
And for some reason, that, I'm assuming for his protection or whatever,
You'd have to know when.
but that's,
Who, Howland?
that's what happened.
Yeah.
And the
So-
thing is, I mean, nobody told you for 15 years you were heating that building and there wasn't a stitch of insulation in it.
Yeah.
That was housing your fire truck. We bought it, we paid for it, the fire department, Newburgh Volunteer Fire Department paid for that truck over there, but it was yours once it became your property, and it was housing your fire truck, so you probably did want to keep a roof on the building.
Oh, it would have been nice to insulate it, but it wasn't.
But I'm just saying, we have everything documented now that we've done to that building. New roof, insulation, all new walls, painting, new garage door. You know,
Would you like to deed
I
it
just
over
pray
to
to
the
God
town
nobody
here?
else in town knows that and comes choose my ass.
Would you like to deed it over to the town of Newburgh?
That would have to come at a meeting, but that would come at about the same time you're telling us that you won't help us convert a few offices up there, so we're all in one place instead of have to running back and forth. I'll tell you, rescue, really. That's,
Like I said, you guys can do all your training and all your meetings, because that's what you did before. When we didn't have this building and we were in the town office, me and Skip and Lois, after we kicked Nancy out, kicked Cindy out, you guys still had all your meetings in the fire department, right? You never had office spaces.
no, but we need it now. For
Okay.
confidentiality, we need those.
Okay, so,
Well, there's
what,
no
like I
alarms
say,
up
you
there.
still do all your training, do everything you need to do up there. All your confidentiality can happen right here. If Glenn wants to say, geez, I need to take
Joe Smith.
Joe Smith, Mickey Mouse, I love Mickey Mouse.
Yes.
Mickey Mouse, and I need to really talk to him confidentiality. You got all kinds of office space right here.
I would think you guys would be nervous keeping all those files up there where there's no fire alarm and no alarm, you know, there's an alarm here if somebody tries to break in.
Security alarm.
Security alarm.
You know, you're talking about being safe. How many people go in and out
Talk
of?
to you about backdoor entrance, having to go in.
We offered her the front door.
We offered the front door. What, you can come in the front door.
She has a key.
She has a key, but that doesn't mean all the other people that do rescue have keys.
No, but,
They would if they were up here.
Lived here.
Yeah.
That,
you know, I just don't see the reluctance. It's because, again, we can carry this on for another 2 hours.
Right.
And I'll shut the recorder off and we can talk freely, but I just don't see the reluctance of the fire department coming, opening up and saying, like I said, give me 3 firemen, or 4 firemen, or 5, or all of them.
all right.
I would more than happy sit down, turn that off, and talk to every one of these guys. You tell us what you want from us. Oh, to keep your nose out of our business, because that's exactly what somebody told me.
And they don't dare to speak.
Right, they're scared to talk. Of course, they're scared to come in and register a car. Glenn, see?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the reason they don't come here is because we grill them. Want to know what's going on.
I never even see them. I don't even know who they are, half of them.
You know, I just
I
don't...
just, I
You
think,
think I look very scared, or Galen looks very scared, or Kelly looks very scared coming in here?
Oh, good
You do
heavens,
with you
no.
people?
I know you
not-
guys
not
aren't.
you guys.
We welcome you, because that's the only communication we ever get.
But I would think it would be a load off your mind. I mean, you guys got locking filing cabinets.
I'm
That's
gonna
fine.
end the meeting.
Yeah.
We're gonna approve the budget. Okay?
Yes.
Make a motion, we approve the 2016-17 budget.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye. 3-2 all.
2-0. There's only 2 of them.
Okay, make a motion, we adjourn.
I'll second it.
All in favor? 3-0.